All right, man, we back with another edition of Lions 101. I mean, I don't know what episode we on, like 15 or 16 now. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Don't forget you can follow me at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All those links are in the description. If you ever have a question, business inquiry, sponsorship, video request, or you just want to chop it up, Twitter is the fastest way. That links to the description. Then Facebook, then IG. I'm really on Instagram, but today we're gonna talk about uh, Cory Undlin. He is the defensive coordinator for the Lions. He was asked by a media member in his virtual press conference the other day, will he call plays? He answered that, not really, but he also talked about, him and Patricia agreed for him to bring some of the things they do over in Philly to Detroit. We also going to talk about can Stafford and Darrell Bevell fix the tight end issues that's been plaguing Stafford since he got here. And we also are going to talk a little bit about Agnew switching his receiver and what's the chances that he actually makes the roster as a receiver. I think he's going to be more of a joker type guy. I mean, you got Hall, you got the three starters, Amendola, Galladay, Jones. So you got some other guys like Fogham. I think I still got Chris Lacey there, whatever his name is. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Make sure you share the videos. The best way to help the channel out. If you haven't, hit the thumbs up button. But yeah, let's talk about Patricia and Undlin. All right. He was asked. I forget which media member asked him. Was he going to be called into plays? And he said we'll wait till the season to get there. And like I said, there's a lot of coordinators across the league that don't call plays. And just because you call plays don't mean you don't do nothing. You got to hold the defensive meeting. I mean, you also can install, the game plan for the week, shit for the season sometimes. So he still plays a role, but it just sounds like he just may be another Paul Pasqualoni, and a lot of people was blaming Paul Pasqualoni for the Lions' woes. They were saying, well, Paul Pasqualoni is responsible for what's going on in the defense, and it wasn't Pasqualoni's fault. This was Matt Patricia defense. Paul Pasqualoni was just a figurehead. But yeah, I mean, if Undlin does take over the play calling and he brings, kind of that Philadelphia Eagle style, I mean, Jim Schwartz didn't seem to blitz that much when he was here. They was all about, even going back to Rob Marinelli, they was all about, rushing four down linemen and getting to the quarterback. It seemed like when Jim Schwartz went to the Eagles, he started to blitz a little bit more. And, that's kind of an Eagles tradition since Jim Johnson. Jim Johnson was the defensive coordinator that was known for blitzing a lot. Shout out to Nico TV, salute. So at the end of the day, Philly blitzed a lot because their back end wasn't that good. And, they had a better front seven than the Lions, have. I mean, from Fletcher Cox to Brandon Graham to some of the other dudes. Was it Derek Barnett up front? So they got a really good front seven, but they're more aggressive, than Lions were last year. The Lions weren't so aggressive. We was more about rushing four, if we lucky, rushing three. And it don't sound like he's gonna be calling no plays. That's something that should be established right now, especially when we in a position where it's virtual, OTAs and virtual meetings. They should already discuss that. Now, if he was gonna be calling plays, that's nothing that that's not discussed uh, prior to him signing here. So I don't see him calling the plays this year. I think Patricia's one of those coaches that's he's going to dominate his side of the ball. They talked about implementing some things he did in Philly, and predominantly what they done in Philly was 4-3. Four down linemen, three linebackers. The Lions have the personnel for that defense. I mean, really, if you talking about running a 3-4, you really looking at Sheldon being the plugger, the nose tackle. You looking at Deshaun Hand being the defensive end. And really, I don't know if Trey Flowers is big enough and strong enough to be a defensive end, and he's not athletic enough to rush off the edge neither. You know what I'm saying? Usually those three down linemen, they some animals. But then you will look at your interior lineman. You probably look at Ragland and a combination of either Ragland with Tavai or with Davis. You will look at probably Collins standing up, and you probably will look at Okora standing up playing the Devin Kennard role. But I'm always more of a 4-3 guy in my opinion about running things. But with Matt Patricia, this is his defense, and I think people need to own up to that. This is how he rocking it. This is how he rolling it. and Undlin is just gonna be a figurehead. He'll help install a game plan. He'll break down film when Patricia gotta manage the team. When we talk about being the head coach is just not about calling plays. You know what I'm saying? It's about managing the team, team meetings, managing personalities. It's kind of like being a manager or boss at a job where you got to deal with everybody's problems. He got to schedule when the bus leave. He got to schedule when they gonna do walkthroughs, when they gonna do team practices. He got to manage the other coaches. Okay, what's the offensive game plan this week? What's the defensive game plan this week? What special teams doing? So it's damn near impossible to really have a great coach that's still calling plays. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to do because everything you're responsible for. You're responsible for the player personalities, the position coaches, the offensive game plan, the defensive game plan, what they doing on special teams. So it's a very very difficult job, and I don't know how most coaches do it. How do they call plays and manage the team? I know Steve Spurrier when he played, when he coached for the Washington Redskins. He wouldn't even give a fuck what's going on the defensive side of the ball. He was just worried about offense. And that ain't a good sign of being a good coach neither. You got to have balance everywhere. But I don't expect Undlin to call the plays this year, all right? I don't expect Matt Patricia to change the stripes neither. You know what I'm saying? And that's my opinion on that. A lot of people going to say they optimistic about Patricia changing his stripes. And one thing I'm not optimistic about him changing the stripe is that he won a championship with this style in New England. Even though Bill Belichick kind of guided him, he not here to guide him no more. But when a way that you coached or a way that you call plays won a championship, in your mind it could be right. Why you think he keep bringing all these New England people here? You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't get with the program, he gonna bring somebody in that's done it before. So if he was truly really thinking about mixing his play calling up or letting Undlin call the plays and being more aggressive, he wouldn't have brought in more New England Patriot guys. So it's gonna be his way or the highway, and his way of coaching is not gonna work outside of New England. I'm telling you right now, as far as how he coached defensively, ain't no Tom Brady walking through that door, ain't no Gronkowski walking through that door. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Bill Belichick to oversee him and guide him and tweak it here and there. You know what I'm saying? Bill Belichick helped install a lot of that game plan, and Matt Patricia kind of got credit for that. But, at the same time, I just don't see Bob Quinn changing his Matt Patricia changing his stripes. Real talk. I don't see him changing his stripes. Excuse me. I just don't see it happening. And like I said before, it was a lot of different guys they could have brought in. They tried to bring the old coach from Wisconsin and Arkansas in. No, he didn't get the job, and they brought Undlin in. So I'm really looking at it, man. It's gonna be Patricia doing what he did before. I don't think no change is coming. They're gonna come out there as long as they don't suffer a lot of injuries. They're gonna play man, they're gonna play a minimum rush, and they're gonna play bend and don't break. That's what they gonna go out there and play, and people gonna be blaming Undlin. Oh, Undlin ain't doing this, Undlin ain't doing that. At the end of the day, you don't know who the fuck calling the plays. Because what you gotta understand on this level, in most colleges, all the plays go through the head coach. You know what I'm saying? All the plays go through the head coach. So his headset get all the plays, so they can put Undlin in the booth and make it seem like Undlin calling the plays. For the longest, people swore up and down that Pasqualoni was calling the plays. Puma 58 say only about 2 months to go. Salute. It could be longer depending on what's going on. A lot of people testing positive for COVID too, in college and in pro. Kareem Jackson for the Broncos. There were a few Dallas Cowboys and Houston Texans famously. Well, the most famous was Ezekiel Elliott. Some Tampa Bay Buccaneers, basically caught the COVID-19 as well too. So as they opening up facilities and welcoming people back, you're gonna see a lot of people that don't have, ain't got, symptoms, but they still got it. So, but like I said before, man, a lot of people was blaming Paul Pasqualoni for the downfall, man. They fired that man for no reason. Him and Undlin ain't gonna be too much different. This is Patricia defense. Patricia gonna call it. They can put a headset on Undlin on the sideline. They can put him in the box, but it's gonna be Patricia calling the plays. So they think we stupid. They faked a lot of Lions fans out last season, making Pascaloni the fall guy. You know, nah, Patricia should be the fall guy. He was calling that sorry ass defense last year. You know what I'm saying? Even on third down, where it was time to be aggressive, they continued all year not to want to try nothing different. They was trying the same thing, rushing three. If we lucky, rushing four, and then quarterback all got all day in the pocket. And people say, well, the Lions ain't get enough pressure. Look, man, if you fortunate enough to have, four good down linemen or four, rushers to get to the quarterback, you lucky in this league. What you got to understand, there are five linemen, a right tackle, a left guard, a right guard, a center. And then you have tight ends, you have crack blocks, you got chips while the running backs coming out of there. That's mission impossible. That's truly mission impossible to go out there and rush with three or four linemen every time when a number is against you. You rushing four and it's five linemen, and then you got running backs that stay in the block, that stay in the chip. You got tight ends that may stay in chip and come on a delay. It's impossible. Especially if you ain't stunting, you ain't looping, you know what I'm saying? You ain't doing nothing exotic. You're not dropping a lineman and bringing a linebacker. Like, it's damn near impossible to call this type of defense and win. No matter how dope, no matter how solid your secondary is. It's damn near impossible to sit out there and run around there and guard somebody for, 4 quarters, especially when your offense can't run the fucking ball. That's the difference between New England defense and Matt Patricia defense in New England and Matt Patricia defense in Detroit. The difference is the offense controlled the clock. You know what I'm saying? That's the big difference. Brady can run it. Brady can continuously pick up first downs, and Brady can drive it in for touchdowns. That's the difference. When your offense going three and out, or they not putting in long drives, and when they do put long drives together, they not putting 7 or 6 on the board. That's the difference. If you putting three and out and you playing that prevent bend don't break defense, what you think gonna happen? It's different. When Brady got the ball, he a threat to put 6 on the board, minimum 3 on the board every time. So that put pressure on the offense to go out there and do something spectacular every time. Every drive you don't score a touchdown, that's more pressure on you because Brady gonna put points on the other side of the board. You just know he gonna do it. The difference is with Matthew Stafford, Detroit Lions offense, you Micro Mike salute. Y'all subscribe to Micro Mike channel. With Matthew Stafford offense, that ain't a threat. He don't have a run game, or he don't have Josh McDaniels to put points up. Now Stafford put points up every time going down like Brady did and Josh McDaniels did. Then Matt Patricia defense will work. But then again, you still missing some talent there. Stephon Gilmore, Talib, and Darrell Revis, and McCourty, Patrick Chung, all them dudes fit good in that secondary. Patrick Chung left and came back and didn't miss a beat. Devin McCourty been there since day one. He got his twin there. They always bring in the ace at cornerback. May it be Revis, Talib, Ty Law. May it be they got Stephon Gilmore now. They always keep good guys. Malcolm Butler. And they keep in up front. It ain't nothing sexy. Rob Ninkovich over the years, and not really much up front. Since Vince Wilfork, I can't really name a lot of their linemen. You got Richard Seymour that's in there. Up front they got Dante Hightower. They traded Chandler Phillips. They didn't want to pay him, as well as Richard Seymour. So it's just that the threat of the offense of going up there, just going up and down the field and putting points on the board. That put a lot of pressure on opposing offenses to keep up. And if you go three and out early in the game, man, you can find yourself up 14-0. So you start forcing stuff, and New England secondary was very, very, it still is very, very stingy. But in Detroit, you don't really have a security blanket of Bill Belichick. You don't have a security blanket of Josh McDaniels, Tom Brady, or the running game. New England is built to win the trenches, and that's how you win football games. You don't win football games with corners, and you do win them with corners, but no corner, no quarterback. Excuse me. No safety, no linebacker, no running back is good without the trenches. That's how you build the football team. And I'm going to continue to say this in almost every football video I do. You get up in the top 5, it's either a quarterback, it's either an elite pass rusher, or it's an elite tackle. Not a guard, not a center. You know what I'm saying? It's an elite left tackle prospect, not even a right tackle. When you get up in the top 5, those are the three things you're looking at. You know, and with the Lions, you know, they don't dominate the trenches, and that's been the problem. When they able to stop the run and get after the quarterback, they can't run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Or they can't protect the passer. Same thing. It was a game last year in special teams where I can't remember what game it was, but they gave up the inside instead of the outside, and the kick got blocked. So this is how you build the football team. It's not rocket science. The formula hasn't changed since 1957. It hasn't changed since Jim Brown was running the ball, or Bobby Lane was throwing it, or Lynn Barney was doing his thing, or Dick Buckus was tackling. It hasn't changed. No linebacker is successful without the lineman in front of him. No quarterback is successful without the lineman in front of him. That's just how football works. That's how you build the football team. So for the Lions not to have been to the playoffs and win a division since '93, I think it was, and Eric Kramer still holds, and I will do a Forgotten Lions on him, and still holds playoff passing records for the Detroit Lions. You know what I'm saying? You know, it hasn't changed. You have to dominate the trenches. If you're building a football team, it might not be pretty. The formula is you run the ball, stop the run, get after the passer. All that shit travels. If it's a rainy day and you a dome team and you like to fling the ball around, or it's the famous fog game, I think between the Bears and the Eagles, back at the old Soldier Field before it was renovated, man, running the ball, passing the ball, not gonna help you. You got to be able to get north and south and run the ball. So that's kind of the thing, man. So that's why, if you're wondering why what Patricia doing in, you know, with Detroit, his defensive plan don't work in New England. I mean, it don't work in Detroit, they work in New England. It's because he don't have the benefit of the special teams. He don't have the benefit of Bill Belichick. And he don't have the benefit of Brady and Josh McDaniels. Plain and simple. He used to playing with leads in New England. You used to playing with the mystique of playing, you know, at Gillette Stadium. You play with leads. When you play with lead, I can call the plays. You can hit fucking Axe Madden, and he can lead you defensively to a victory once you're in the offense going 3 and out, and your special team scoring, blocking punts and scoring touchdowns on punt returns and kick returns. That's the big difference. One Pride, salute. You know, love Pin Bob, salute. Yeah, subscribe to One Pride Nation. That's the difference, though, man. So, you know, my whole thing about Cory Undlin is, you know, when he answered the question, he asked him, like, you going to call plays? He said, we'll find out during the season. He ain't calling no plays. It's Patricia. So everything going to boil down on Patricia, man. I'm telling you. In corporate America, when I'm in the workforce or whatever I'm doing, I run into dudes like Patricia every day. You know, when you go, you know, ask for the manager at a Pacific spot, or your manager or your boss, you run into dudes like that every day. Can't do your job, but tell you how to do your job and don't know how to do their job. That's a fact. I run that back. I remix that. They tell you how to do your job, but they can't do that. They can't do your job, and they can't do their job, and that's Patricia. So do I expect Patricia to change from zebra stripes to leopard spots? Absolutely not. He is what he is. If the Lions are going to be successful this year, it's not going to be Cory Undlin fault. Don't start that Paul Pasqualoni shit. Caitlin Jones, salute. I don't want to hear nothing about, you know, Cory Undlin, y'all throw him under the bus like y'all threw that old man Paul Pasqualoni under the bus. I don't want to hear it unless we know for a fact Cory Undlin is calling the plays, and for a fact, I know he won't be. Patricia will be. If he calling the plays, every play go through Patricia main headset. So I don't want to hear y'all throwing Cory Undlin under the bus like Paul Pasqualoni. If the defense look the same, feel the same as last year, and operate the same as last year, y'all need to blame Matt Patricia. So, and I know guys like him don't change their stripes. At what is Matt Patricia? 40 what years old? Let me look that up. Give me a minute. It's sad. I feel more comfortable searching on my phone than my computers now. He 45 years old. Man, at 45 years old ain't changing nothing. Only thing you changing at 45, man, shit, 45-year-old man don't even change their clothes on a regular basis. Only thing you changing is your blood pressure medicine, or I mean, you don't even change beer at 45 years old. You drinking the same fucking beer you've been drinking at 30. Ain't no 40-year-old man switching from Budweiser, Modelo, or Corona to White Claw. You feel what I'm saying? Ain't nobody, man. Only thing he changing is, maybe, I don't even know. Maybe changing over to Viagra at 45 years old. Ain't no changes coming. Only way the Lions gonna succeed this year is if he do change or the offense carry them. If they run the ball, they go into the playoffs with a healthy Stafford. I tell you that right now. If they run the ball, and y'all sleeping on special teams too. If they run the ball and special teams play well this year, it's over with. They go into the playoffs despite that defense. That defense will do enough to not break. If they run that ball and Stafford stay healthy, they gonna average 30 points a game with a run game. I'd probably say feel safe they might average 35 points a game with a run game. Especially with some explosive players on the outside, they can get something out of Hall, and I get to Agnew. I know what they get out of Swift, and I kind of got a good feeling about that Huntley character. I don't know why. I got a good feeling about him. Maybe I'm hella wrong, but I got a feeling that he gonna end up being a key contributor to the Lions this year. Maybe he get cut, maybe he go to the practice squad, but I got a feeling that at some point they gonna need him, and he gonna make a lot of big plays out there. But if they run that ball this year and they play good special teams, they gonna make the playoffs. I'm telling you, bro, that schedule ain't that hard, dog. That schedule ain't that hard. Jackson S say 9-7. You can make the playoff at 7-9 and 8-8 this year. Remember they added a playoff team. So I might just wanna, and this wasn't even on the agenda for the night. I got some time. Make sure you check my other channel out too, Goodfellas Sports TV. That's my main channel. But before we talk about the tight end, let's look at the schedule. I just want to go over the schedule one more time, man. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really see it being hard. And maybe I'll look at it again, man. I'm gonna break some things down about the schedule just real fast. And they might start off on time, they might not. So they end up playing Chicago week 1. All right, we know Nick Foles got hurt. We at home. He got hurt week one last year. He was looking pretty good when he got hurt, but when he came back, he wasn't the same. Maybe because he wasn't healthy. Then you go to Chicago. Then you go to Arizona. They beat us last year. It's a lot of hoopla about Arizona, but guess what? Cliff Kingsbury got that 5-page air raid book, so we know what the offense looked like this year. So it won't be no surprise. Then you go to New Orleans. New Orleans come here. Drew Brees can't throw over 20 yards. Drew Brees sorry as hell at this point. That's why they lost to Kirk Cousins. Then you got to buy. Then you at Jacksonville. It ain't looking too good there. Then you at Atlanta. You know, they lost. They kind of in transition. They kind of rebuilding on the fly. Then we at versus Indianapolis. I'm not scared of them, especially with Phillip Rivers. He another dude who can't throw the ball no more. He lost arm strength and didn't have a lot to begin with. Then you play Minnesota. It's a division game. We always play them tough. We don't know if they're going to be running with Madison and Dalvin Cook at this point. Then you play Washington with a healthy Stafford. I believe that's the winnable game. Carolina kind of rebuilding, so going to Carolina is not the same. No Luke Kuechly, he in the scouting department. Then you play Houston on Thanksgiving, I think it is. They're a good team, but you know they're not unbeatable. Then we play Chicago at Chicago in December. It could be cold, so that's always a dangerous game. Then Green Bay come December 13th. We play them tough both times with or without Stafford. So division games don't really scare me because we know them very well. Then Tennessee is a game that I might attend if they got fans in Nashville. So they're a good football team, but it's different. When you become the hunter, when you the hunted and you ain't the hunter no more. So I can see Tennessee taking a step back. Tampa Bay, they just an old ass football team. By the time the end of the year get here, they just old. It'd scare me if they got Jamal Adams, and then we play Minnesota last game. So people talking about they might start off 1-7 or 0-8. Man, I don't see that, man. This schedule, man. If they start off, anything less than 500, bro, in the first 8 games, Patricia and them deserve to be fired, bro. Hey, that fucking schedule ain't that hard, man. It's a lot of old ass teams on that schedule, man. And it's a lot of second year dudes who gonna have a slump, bro. come on, man. It's Kyler Murray. The air raid offense ain't even that much, bro. Uh, Aaron Rodgers, he a good quarterback, but they got some questions over there about how happy and how many weapons he got. It's gonna be Funches a bust over there. You know, I just don't see nobody to be worried about, dog. To be honest, the only team that I feel that might be an uphill battle for us to beat, believe it or not, Tennessee is the only team that scare me on this schedule. And if they don't have a relapse, if they have a relapse, then that's kind of regular for that's kind of normal for a team like that. When they be like Jacksonville, when Jacksonville came off that year, they should have went to the championship, and then they became the 100 and they started to fall apart. That's kind of what Tennessee kind of going there. So, like I said before, man, I don't see nobody that scared me on this schedule, dog. Just straight up and down. The Lions can be competitive in all those games. He said, "How do you feel about the rankings of 9-7?" I don't got no predictions for what the record gonna be. So 9-7, that'll be good enough to bring them back. You know, pretty much just run the ball and chew the clock. That's what New England did. New England, since Randy Moss left, even when Randy Moss wasn't there, when they had Troy Brown and Antoine Smith and one of the most underrated running backs of all time, Corey Dillon. If you follow the Lions long enough, Corey Dillon has some big games versus the Lions, man. Corey Dillon was one of the greatest running backs that don't get no credit, bro. Corey Dillon was a bad boy. He fumbled a little bit, but he wasted his years in Cincinnati, ended up winning the ring in New England. So, Corey Dillon is a great football player, man. I think, in my opinion, I think he should go into the Hall of Fame. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but for what he did in Cincinnati, Cincinnati was sorry as hell. But that's just my feeling. He said, I agree on Hundley. I have a feeling as well. Yeah, I got a feeling that he going to kind of be like Philip Lindsay. I don't know. I got a feeling in my bones that gonna be the man. If they control and they control the clock, the defense will be on the field less. Michael Mike, appreciate the super chat, family. Yeah, that's what New England did. They chewed the clock up on offense. That's all. They chewed the clock up. That's how you do it. You chew it, and then when you can punch it in for 6, and you take 6, 7, 8 minutes off the play clock. Then the other offense trying to hustle up and try to score some points real quick. You create a turnover with that bend and break defense. That's the point. When Patricia brought that style of defense to Detroit, he should have been focusing on stopping the run. Running the football. That's what made New England incredible. They can run the football, and Brady can play off the run. Everything Brady did was off the run from the very beginning. Corey Dillon, Antoine Smith, whoever the running backs is, and then they evolved to then we're gonna start dumping into the backs out the backfield. Then we're gonna start checking it down to Wes Welker. You know what I'm saying? Then they got Randy Moss. Then we not only can we run the ball now you gotta respect the backs coming out the flats and on the angle and Texas route and circle route. Then you gotta worry about, us doing the rub routes with Wes Welker and Edelman. Before you know it, you was looking down the field and Randy Moss is running down there wide open. So, that's the origin of New England offense, the run game. Everything is predicated off the run. And then you can't really play the run and play the run because then you commit to the run and then Wes Welker, irky jerky in the slot, he beating this person one-on-one or he's sitting in between zones. And then you play the run, they play action, and now they that much more deadlier. Then, you got James White running the what I call it a wheel route, out the backfield, or just a little wheel out the backfield, and now he gone for a touchdown. Or then they had Randy Moss, they play action, and you got everything underneath covered. And then he going down the field for a 30-yard bomb. It's impossible. It's fucking possible, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then, on top of that, they can dink and dack. I like saying dink and dack up the field. You can play perfect. You waiting on Tom Brady to make a mistake, and that ain't gonna happen. You might get a deflection or whatever, and then if New England do get behind, you know what I'm saying? Tom Brady can bring them back. So that's New England offense. Even when New England was getting beat this year, wasn't nobody blowing them out the water. Even old ass Tom Brady was almost had Kansas City on the ropes. Almost came back and beat Houston. You know what I'm saying? Almost beat Tennessee. Beat them by a point. Was it a point or two? So it's ball control offense. That's what it is. And when New England got away from ball control offense, they lost that Super Bowl to the New York Giants, the first one. Because I went to the second Super Bowl. The first one they lost to it. That's what happened. When they got used to scoring 30, 40, 50 points a game and, trotting up and down the field and clowning, when they got away from being a ball control offense, that's what it is. It's a ball control offense. It's an efficient Deacon Dak ball control offense. Randy Moss just gave them an aspect that they never had, and they got reliant on Randy Moss, bailing them out with deep balls. And then when it came down to New York, all they had to do was keep it simple. They got caught up in becoming a pass happy offense, and then they lost their way. I don't know who their running back was at the time. Had they kept handing the ball off, and they kept playing the same defense, 3-step drop, get it out of there, run the ball off the draws, screens, and kept it simple and used Randy Moss as a decoy, they would have beat the Giants in that Super Bowl. They got caught up trying to be the greatest show on turf. And that's what happened. That's why they lost, and that's why they didn't win with Randy Moss. Not because Randy Moss not a winner. Not because the Randy Moss not a winner. That's not the case. It's just that, versus the other, 16 teams they beat in the regular season, 18 plus the playoffs. The one team that had the remedy was the Giants. They knew how to, play them. They should have just went back to what they know. When they went back to what they know, they started winning Super Bowls again. And that's the formula to winning. Every team want to try to recreate winning. Every now and again, you can have a Patrick Mahomes, you can have a Michael Vick, you can have a Lamar Jackson. You can have what the Eagles have. The thing when the Eagles win a championship is no different. You'll be able to run the ball, stop the run, rush the passer, play good special teams, and don't turn the ball over. That's it. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Remember, Kerry Collins raced his ass. He made it to a Super Bowl after he said the N-word in Carolina, and they traded him to the Giants because they were about to beat his ass in the locker room. Look that story up. You know what I'm saying? It's no different. Dak Prescott rookie year. We talking about Dink and Dak. Dak Prescott rookie year. That's what it was. They played good defense, stop the run the ball. He made enough. It's not. Football is simple. It's a simple game. It hasn't changed in over how many years? They've been 100 years last season. This would be 101 season. It hasn't changed. But it's all these executives trying to recreate the wheel. It hasn't changed. If you ask me how would I build the football team, you say, okay, CJ, you get the Lions from scratch. How you building them? What's the first thing you taking? You know what I'm saying? And if the draft dictates that I got a franchise quarterback there, then I'm gonna take a franchise quarterback. If it's a quarterback, if it's a left tackle that I think is a life changing, then I'm gonna take him. And then if I give me a Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, an Aaron Donald, anybody like that, Khalil Mack, then I'm gonna look at them. You build your team around those people. Eagles ain't have one cornerback that we really can remember. Maybe Ronald Darby when they won the championship. He ain't shit. But their front seven was good. So that's kind of how you look at it. It's a simple formula for building a championship team. It's not hard. But the hard part is the evaluation. Because you have a lot of quarterbacks that ain't that good. In the NFL, the reason you pass up on Watson, Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson is because you think inside of a box. You know what I'm saying? You think inside of a box of, my quarterback got to be 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". He got to have a cannon like Jamarcus Russell. But honestly, you got to have an arm. You got to have the hand size, really. You got to be accurate. You got to be able to, read defenses. But, some guys just got that it. Russell Wilson, he just got that it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's exceptions to the rules. Drew Brees, was an exception to the rule. Drew Brees opened the door up for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson opened the door up for Baker Mayfield and for Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? So now, at one point when you have quarterbacks that's 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot that have never got a D1 offer, they have an offer to play something else. Now those dudes are getting the opportunity to prove that they can play in the league. So that's kind of why you kind of get, with the Trubisky's over the Watson Mahomes. And a part of it is a racial aspect to it as well, too. You know, um, but you look at the top quarterbacks in the league right now. The wave is telling you black quarterbacks. Now, who sustains it is the question. Because you look at Mahomes, Wilson. Wilson has sustained it the longest. So, based on tenure, Russell Wilson should be the best quarterback in the league. Jackson, Watson, you know what I'm saying? We said Mahomes, Wilson, Prescott. And then, even if you go to Aaron Rodgers, at his best, Aaron Rodgers was a mobile quarterback. So all the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks, and I'm probably forgetting some in there as well too. Who else we got? Wentz is pretty good. He pretty mobile. Kyler Murray's pretty good. He pretty mobile. I think he might kind of this year gonna be funny, but I think he's gonna be good in the long run. I like Daniel Jones from the Giants. He kind of mobile. So every quarterback you looking at, Trubisky, I don't like him, but he mobile. You go to the AFC, Jackson, Baker is okay. He mobile. Ben Roethlisberger at his best was mobile. Joe Burrows is pretty mobile. So if you look at the AFC South, we kind of want to go there, and I'll get to the tight end situation in a minute. You go and look at Phillip Rivers not mobile. He an older quarterback, and Jacoby he all right. He got nice mobility, but you look at Tannehill, he mobile. Minshew got a little bit of wiggle to him. Tannehill mobile, Watson mobile. You go to the AFC East. Jordan Stidham is an underrated athlete. I want the Lions to draft him so bad. I knew he was going to be good out of Auburn. I think he's going to be good this year. I could be wrong. Josh Allen, he mobile. Tua going to be mobile. Who else in that division? Sam Darnold, I can't stand him. He all right. He ain't really mobile to me, but he got some wiggle. And you look at that in the AFC West, you say Mahomes, Locke kind of athletic. Mariota kind of athletic. Carr's okay. He kind of in the Darnold area. And then you got Tyrod Taylor and Herbert in the Los Angeles Chargers. Both of them pretty mobile. So you look inside the league, the classic drop back quarterback is gone. And you talk about Brady and Breeze, they got pocket mobility. You know what I'm saying? Brady can tap dance in that pocket, slide, soda baby slide. Drew Brees can manipulate the pocket, so they got pocket mobility. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't no quarterback in the league, that just and then Kirk Cousins can move a little bit, and Stafford has become mobile and dropped the weight. He a really underrated athlete. So everywhere you look, the athletic quarterback is taking over. You know what I'm saying? So it really ain't no more just sitting in the pocket and being a statue. You know what I'm saying? So NFL is evolving right before your eyes. The NFL is really evolving before your eyes, and you could talk about the running back position. It used to be hand the ball to Eric Dickerson, hand the ball off to Bo Jackson. Now they asking them to go out and run routes. So now you got Kamara who catching the ball just as much as he rushing them, and obviously we had that with Marshall Faulk and Lauren and LaDainian Tomlinson was doing that, but now that is the norm in the NFL that your running back has to do everything. He can't just be hand the ball off to Herschel and let Herschel carry us to the promised land. That's no good. Dalvin Cook catching it, Kamara catching it, Saquon catching it. So now, Pro Football Focus, which a lot of you dudes like, now they docking running backs and they saying they're not that good if they don't catch the football. So, like I said before, it's a lot changing in the NFL, man. It's a lot changing. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that's staying the same, but a lot of positions are changing now. Defense is gonna be defense, but they getting bigger, stronger, and athletic. You got some linemen that's over 300 pounds running 4.7. This dude from the Saints that played left tackle, I don't know if he's still there. This dude ran like a 4.7. So it's the NFL is these dudes are becoming bigger, stronger, and faster. That's crazy. But I'm gonna go through the comments and I'm gonna start on the tight end. Appreciate for sharing the stream. Appreciate that's the best way you can help is share. He said I remember at one point the Cowboys didn't even win a playoff game that year because they lost to the Packers. Yeah, I forgot that game, man. Remember the time? And this was man, Odell Beckham's so overrated. People say Odell Beckham was a good receiver. I'm not gonna dispute it. I sure would rather have him than Eric Ebron. But remember that time they went to the playoffs? Because I lost some money. I was working at General Motors at the time. And I just knew the Giants was going to win. And boat trip, Odell dropped every pass thrown to him in the cold. Crazy, man. And Eli is, look, man, you ask me if I want Peyton or Eli for a playoff run, I'm taking Peyton Manning, bro, all day. I mean, Eli. Eli Manning is the man when the playoff time. Thank God Mahomes is not with the Bears. You ain't lying. The Bears would be running they'd be running the whole NFC every year. He said I'm better than Bob Quinn. One thing about Bob Quinn before I move on, you can't discredit Bob Quinn because you don't know how much he can do and can't do. And I will always defend Mayhew, Lewan, and Bob Quinn on that. Because I think Martha holds them back from doing a lot of things that they really want to do. The notifications almost never go off. You ain't lying. I'm fighting that on both channels. I don't know why. Trollic Sports Talk. Salute. What's going on? He said he talking to him. What's up? Tumbo. You changed your name to Tumbo. Oh, I was on Call of Duty earlier, Tumbo, dog. I'll be seeing you on there, man. If you want to hop on, I'm probably gonna hop on after I go live on my other channel. I'm gonna hop on later tonight. What is playing today? I'm playing with that 8K in the MP7. I run with Overkill. People don't like to run with Overkill because then you don't have ghosts, but shit, I'll take the chance. Salute. But yeah. I've been tearing niggas up with that K. My MP7. He said I'm out of town for a few days. All right, man. Let me know when you come back. I might just start a mail list for my notifications. But let's talk about tight end, right? Darrell Bevell did talk. He talked to the media a little bit longer than Cory Undlin. Cory Undlin did about 17 minutes. Darrell Bevell went about 27 minutes, and he don't even look himself. Darrell Bevell got like the whole goatee going. I didn't even know that was him. I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? And it's him. He done grew a whole little beard, look a lot different. Like he grew some hair on his head. I think he might have had a lace front wig. These men out here wearing lace front wigs, but he talked about a lot of different things. He talked about Swift and he talked about Stafford a lot. But the one thing that he talked about the most was tight ends. The Lions drafted Brandon Pettigrew, number 24, whatever it was, back in the day. They drafted Ebron over Aaron Donald. Oh my God, that still hurt my soul to this day. And they drafted him over Odell Beckham. They took Hockenson over Ed Oliver, who just got arrested though, a couple months ago. But I love Ed Oliver coming out of Houston in that whole area. And they took him over Devin Bush. But we haven't been able to get the most out of tight ends. And people talk about Eric Ebron. He took a lot of flack for being in Detroit. But one thing I did notice about Eric Ebron is that when he played with Andrew Luck, he produced. When he played with Andrew Luck, he produced. And the difference between Andrew Luck and Matthew Stafford, it's not that Andrew Luck a better quarterback. Well, you can argue that. But it's that Andrew Luck throws a more catchable ball than Matthew Stafford. Andrew Luck doesn't have the arm strength, or didn't have, because he didn't have the arm strength of Matthew Stafford. Stafford, it took him a long time to learn how to put air and put touch on the ball. And Stafford and Erica was just a bad mix to begin with. Stafford threw a bullet, and I remember Marvin Jones dropping some balls in the beginning until he got adjusted to Stafford's arm. But Erica was never going to get adjusted to Stafford's arm. In that draft, you'll remember the narrative on the Lions was they were supposed to jump up and draft Sammy Watkins. So they didn't move up and draft Sammy Watkins, which it wouldn't have mattered. He was injury prone anyway. It would have ended like Erica did. But it's kind of been a narrative that Stafford hasn't been good with tight ends. He had some success with Christian Fourier. He did something to break his ankle, and then He just never came back, but he was a great red zone threat. But Darrell Bevell haven't historically done good with tight ends neither. So you spent all this money on James last season, and then you draft T.J. Hockenson at number 7, and we don't see no two tight end sets. We don't see a lot of heavy sets. We don't see where you got a up back, and maybe you got Jesse James in front of Kerryon Johnson and Hockenson playing that tight end, and you doing something nice with them. So the game one, I think everybody got their hopes up for Hockenson. Arizona had no answer. He was looking so good coming out of those breaks. He was looking fast, and and maybe that was fool's gold. Because ever since then, they took him away. So I thought him and Amendola would control the middle, but I did know that it would be a learning curve playing tight end. For God's sakes, Mike Ditka still has the greatest statistical rookie season for a tight end. Look it up. Mike Ditka had over 1,000 yards and I believe like 75 catches that season. Mike Ditka, like old ass Mike Ditka, like I already coached for the Bears and I already coached for the New Orleans Saints. So he got to be more creative on how he used those guys. And quite frankly, I would think he need to be creative on how he used and how he used Danny Amendola and T.J. Hockenson. They were supposed to dominate the middle of the field last year, but it is what it is. Real talk with Dewan Salute. Chris says, is that team president? He's a Ford exec, and the family of the Fords, they always got their hand in the cookie jar. One process, that's true, but it's not Martha's fault. He picked Tease Tabor instead of Alvin Kamara or the other guy signing T.J. Lang and Rick Wagner. Yeah, true. I really can't put it on T.J. Lang and Rick Wagner. Maybe that's the money he had to spend. That's maybe what Martha was willing to spend and get something else. So I really can't put that on free agent signing. Free agent signing is a totally different topic, which I can go there in a minute, but if you want me to. But drafting, I think they took Ashawn Robinson. It was sandwiched between Derrick Henry and Michael Thomas. So I think one pick, Derrick Henry might have went, and then they took Robinson, and then Michael Thomas might have went, or it might have been the other way around. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They picked Michael Robinson over Kareem Hunt as well, too. But I kind of touch on that. But with Hockenson, you've seen the talent. The hips look loose. His route running looked good. So, not sure what it was, but remember last year, Noah Fant struggled, too. The difference between Noah Fant, that's kind of a conversation that people want to have, is that who gonna be better? Noah Fant got an opportunity to finish the last 4 games of the season, while Hockenson didn't. He got injured, so Hockenson had his good game in the beginning. Noah Fant got better towards the end when he got Drew Lock. So, but Hockenson looked good, man, in the Arizona game, and I don't know kind of what happened, but it happens to tight ends. You know what I'm saying? It took Jimmy Graham a while. Obviously Detroit's own Antonio Gates took him a minute. So it's going to take time. It's going to take some time. But this year, if he have a George Kittle's type breakout season, because Kittle's what he had some catches year 1, but the next year he stepped out and got 88 catches, man. So, if it don't go well this season, it's either going to be Stafford just can't throw the tight end, or Bevell just can't draw nothing up. And Bevell got all year to copy and see, what other teams did. But I think I need to see a lot of 2 tight end sets next year. You know what I'm saying? Especially to help out Decker and to help out Big V. That's going to be nice. You know what I'm saying? You can do a lot of crossing routes. You can do a lot of drag routes. You can do some delay routes. I mean, Jesse James should be, a red zone threat every time. You can legitimately go out there and line up Jesse James and Hockenson out wide, in the red zone and throw jump balls to both of them. They can't double team both of them, but we can't say Pettigrew wasn't nothing. Poirier didn't go on to do nothing. Erica didn't go on to really do nothing. He quit on the Colts last year. So it ain't like they had, Tony Gonzalez, in the fold, and Stafford wasn't good with Tony Gonzalez, and Gonzalez went on and was a Hall of Famer. So that's true, but yeah. Yeah, Jesse James. I don't think it was Jesse James' fault. I really just think that Darrell Bevell just didn't draw up a good game plan for the tight ends last year. Detroit or Bus Sports Talk, he said year 2 Hockenson will break out. Jesse will produce a little bit more. Bevell says he's going to try and make his tight ends more. He got more successful. He got no choice. You know what I'm saying? He got no choice. They can load them up on one side of the line. You got one that's 6'6" and one that's 6'8". Like, come on. A red zone shouldn't be a problem. They can't double team them, a back coming out the backfield, or Galladay shouldn't even see a double team. If they double team Galladay, then you got Amendola can control the sticks, and then you got Hockenson, then you got James, and then you got Marvin Jones, and then you got the man. They shouldn't. I mean, it should be open season, and that should be their base formation next year. If they're not gonna get a fullback, they should come out there with 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, in a back. That should be that single back formation should be their base formation. If I'm gonna pay Jesse James all that money, he gonna get it. He gonna earn that shit. You ain't gonna just sit on the bench. And then you got Logan Thomas, who seemed to be getting better, the old Virginia Tech quarterback. The Lions may have 3 starting tight ends depending on what Nuatar from Georgia do. If I'm gonna pay for something, I'm gonna get the use out of it. Real talk. Real talk. If I buy something I don't like, I'm gonna sell it. It ain't no way you got 2 almost 6'9" guys and you ain't successful in the red zone running the ball or throwing. That just don't make no sense. And once again, you got to understand that Matthew Stafford ain't had the greatest coordinators. Scott Linehan, where he at? He done got demoted in Dallas if he's still there. Who else he done had? Joe Lombardi, where he at? Holding the chalkboard, clearing off the whiteboard for Sean Payton. Who else they had? Jim Bob Cooter. I ain't even gonna speak on him. They gonna take this live stream down. I get to cussing his ass out. And then you have Bevell was the best coordinator that he didn't have. But the problem with Bevell is he ain't got the most out of tight. When he was in Seattle, a lot of Russell Wilson tight end shit was him, scrambling and just tossing it up to Luke Wilson, who was here for a minute, and just tossing it up to somebody else. He couldn't even get nothing out of Jimmy Graham. So, like I said before, you can put it on Stafford, but also you got to look at the history of the tight ends. I mean, of the coordinator. That should be the Lions' base package. Even if I don't get Amendola on the field. And it don't matter. Every time Amendola go out there and get hit, he injured. That's been the story of his whole career. I'll come out there straight out with, that's going to help Big V out, Taylor Decker. I'm coming out there straight with 2 tight ends, 2 receivers every time. You don't know who blocking. You don't know who delayed releasing. You don't know, man, I'll be running the hell out that ball. And you got all the running backs, too. You got Bo. You got Carrion. You got both Johnsons. You got Undlin. Man, shit. I come out there and I'll be shoving that ball down people's throats. That's what New England did with Aaron Hernandez and Gronkowski. Man, I'll be going out there, man. I'll be loading up with 2 tight ends on one side. I'll be running back to that side. I'll do misdirections, cutbacks. There's so much shit you could do when you got really 2 good tight ends. They both can go out there and catch like 60, 70 balls. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion on it, man. And they both can block pretty good, too. I think Hockenson struggled a little bit in blocking. I think the speed of the lineman and linebacker shocked him last year, but that ain't going to shock him this year. But they say he ain't 100% healthy yet, but I'm just saying. I need to start focusing on tight ends, build the run game first to keep defense off the field the way. That's what I was just saying. But tight ends can help in the run game, too. Don't forget they block. They barely targeted Jesse James. Yep. I felt that. Benjamin Fo 9-7 wasn't good enough. Man, F this team. Well, shit, at the end of the day, that's the one quote that he should have never said. He should have never said that. Jim Cooter was awful, couldn't run the ball. He allowed the Jets to know the plays. They were. Hey, I was at that game, bro. I was at that game. No lie. I was at that game. Man, everybody walked out, man. When Stafford got hurt and they didn't think he was coming back, everybody walked. The bars was filled. The concourse main door was filled. I used to work at Ford Field. Probably the funny job I had. Seeing Lions game for free. But I don't know the obsession, like Zatumbo said, I don't know the obsession with tight ends in Detroit, but you got to build the trenches. Kelsey went later. Even the first round rookies that went of late, and Joko still ain't done nothing in he still ain't done nothing in Cleveland. David and Joko, Evan Ingram, he have a hot start, but he always injured. So really, OJ Howard. Remember all the Lions fans say, "Oh yeah, I want some orange juice Howard. I want some OJ Howard." OJ Howard ain't did nothing yet in this league. That should change with Tom Brady. But so tight ends that went first of recently, it ain't really been a lot of good luck. Eric Ebron, Pettigrew. I mean, what about all the other tight ends that went first? Who been the most successful one that went in the first round is the question. You know what I'm saying? When you in the top 10, man, you put me in the top 10, I'm looking at tackles. I'm looking at maybe a back. Late in the top 10, cornerbacks. You know what I'm saying? Tight ends is a position you pick down the line because it's a developmental position. Now, Green Bay drafted a tight end last year. Not this past draft, but last year. I didn't even know they drafted him, Stenberg, and they counted on him to step up this year. And they drafted one this year. Aaron Hernandez was a middle round pick because of his issues. Gronkowski was a second round pick because of the back issues. Antonio Gates was undrafted because he was a hooper. You know what I'm saying? Who else we had? Trying to think. Tonio Gates was what, number 13th? I mean, Tony Gonzalez was number 13th, but he ran a 4.49 in the middle of the 90s or something like that. One too many. Shannon Sharp was a late round draft pick. I mean, we can just go through tight end. Jimmy Graham was what, second round, third round draft pick or something like that. Um, I mean, cool. Irv Smith for the Vikings. He went second. I can't remember what Kyle Rudolph was out of Notre Dame. I think Dak Ertz, he wasn't a first round pick for the Eagles neither. So historically, teams that had success drafting tight ends and developed them, they've been second or later round picks. So, like I said before, man, that's just how the game go. The Lions put a premium on tight ends that other teams don't. When they took Pettigrew, I can't remember who they passed up that year, but that was a long time ago. So they took him in the first 2009 with Stafford, I believe. When they took Ebron, they passed on Aaron Donald because they were saying that Martin Mayhew was saying that Aaron Donald was too small to be a defensive tackle. Aaron Donald is, dominant right now. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that can get 20 sacks from the defensive tackle 3 technique, that's domination. And people don't understand how great that's an anomaly. To get 20 sacks on the interior, Travis Kelce was a third round pick. All right. So that's dominant, bro. When you could tell me to put me in the 3 technique, I mean, when J.J. Watt was doing it off the 3-4 defensive end, got 20 sacks. That's amazing, bro. Like, man, the inside is so physical in football. I mean, you talking about broken fingers, twist wrist, bent wrist. That's a physical game. It's a duration game too. You know what I'm saying? The offensive line nasty, but we can end off talking about Agnew, and I'll open up for Q&A. Jamal Agnew switching to receiver, and then at this point, I'm thinking like, why they didn't put him as a running back, but I don't know how he's gonna turn out as a receiver. Is he gonna be more of a gadget guy? But if you look at the roster, will he even make the roster as a receiver is the question. It's only so many times you can run a reverse. You gotta teach him how to run the 9. You gotta teach him how to run a couple routes. The 9, people just think, oh, you just run and go. It ain't that easy. You gotta be able to get off the line of scrimmage clean. You probably gotta teach him how screens. I mean, it's gonna be tough. It'll help if he played receiver in college or high school, but teaching him to come in and out them breaks and run a 5-yard hitch or run a 10-yard deep end or run an out route or comeback route. And then it don't help that Stafford got a fucking cannon for an arm, even at 2 years old. That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a tough job, man. People talking Tyreek Hill. Shit. It takes years for like receivers that come out of college, and some people don't make it to run the route tree. So I'm hoping that he will make it, hoping he can be explosive. But just part of me just saying that Killebrew switched positions, and we still ain't seen him really play a linebacker. He just a glorified special teams player. So if I had to bet on him, man, he probably gonna be on the roster as a kick returner, punt returner, slash cornerback slash receiver type guy, Jamal Agnew. You know, but because I think Fogham's still on the practice squad, I think Lacey's still there. Obviously, you got Jones, Galladay, Amendola, Hall, and then it don't help that you got Tyler Todd Johnson, and then you got Huntley. Like, really, can you Huntley and Todd Johnson can run better routes right now and catch the ball from receiver more than Jamal Agnew. Jamal Agnew just seemed, if he ain't running on kick returns and punt returns, he just seemed like he destined to get cut. He trending on Desmond Howard status. You know what I'm saying? He trending just to be a kick return or Eddie Drummond, or he gonna just be a kick return specialist. That's but if he can figure out receiver with that athleticism and speed, Lions gonna have a weapon. But that's a hard position to work out because you got to be able to read defenses. Lord forbid they put him on the option route. He sit down or he go out and he supposed to go in. As a defender, he should understand route concepts too, so that should help being a corner. Excuse me, but I hope the best for him because I like the kid, man. His rookie year, he was phenomenal. Then his second year, he suffered a little injury, and people said he was going to be done. Then he came back. We thought the season was over with, and last year he kind of, flashed again. He scored a touchdown in Philly. I think he scored another touchdown. So I like Agnew. You know what I'm saying? He said my latest two videos went over how Patricia has done in his first 2 years. Yeah, but yeah, if you got any questions, I'll answer them. Any Lions related questions. I plan to get a piston stream in. I don't know tomorrow, man. I might be a little bit busy tomorrow, so maybe Monday I can get a piston one in. Hopefully tomorrow I can squeeze it in later in the night, man. So it's a lot of exciting things going on with the Pistons, man. But the Lions, man, we don't know if they're gonna have different helmets. We don't know if season gonna start. They're gonna extend training camp, or it's a lot of football players from college and pro that's failing this corona test. So a lot of people got it and don't know they got it. You know what I'm saying? And the protocol is quarantine for 10 to 14 days. You take the test. If you fail it again, then you take the test again, 10 to 14 days. If you pass it, then 24 hours. You quarantine for 24 hours again. Come back and take the test, and within 24 hours, you pass it, then you're good. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of people ain't been disciplined enough to follow by social distancing. You know what I'm saying? And people just still think it's a game. When you're young, you think if it's invincible, but it's not a game. Especially if you got respiratory issues, or you just one of those unlucky people that it affect where you don't have no taste, no smell, you diarrhea, you throw up. I mean, some people just act like they couldn't it couldn't just live without going out to the mall and partying, and that just shows you, man, because a lot of people don't have no money. They still go to the club, they still party. They don't have a sense of ethics. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't got no money, I ain't going to party. Maybe when I was younger in college, I ain't doing that shit. I ain't going out unless my money right, straight up and down. And you'll learn that as you get older, but a lot of people don't know no better. You look outside and it's 8,500 people facing eviction in Detroit. But you look at well, they call it Snipes. Used to be called Mr. Allen's Foot Locker. Everybody buying these shoes. Even if these shoes 50% off, where you gonna put them at if you evicted? At some point, the state of emergency order got to end, and the landlord gonna want he gonna want his rent from March all the way up to whenever it ends. At some point, you got to pay the piper. But a lot of people don't have priorities, and a lot of people, they don't have no sense of just Right now, people think everything will go back to normal. If I'm you, if I'm in your position, I'm still paying bills up. ahead of time. That's how you, if you can't save money, before I get to these few questions, if you can't save money, all you do is pay the bill up, ahead of time. So you know what I'm saying, your energy bill, gas bill, pay it up ahead of time. Say if I keep this $100 or whatever it is, I'm just gonna blow it on some bullshit. So just put an extra 100 on your bill. Pay your cable bill off a little bit longer. Double up on your card note. Double up on it. That's how the game is played. That's how you save money. You know, but hey, that's just my opinion, kind of some advice. 3-13. I don't see 3-13, bro. You think Jamal Agnew will make the team as a receiver, or is it too late in his career for? Yeah, I don't think he can make the team as a receiver. He gonna have to make the team as a utility player, cornerback, receiver, running back, kick returner, punt. He gonna just be a jack of all trades. You know, it's too hard to switch to be a receiver, bro. You know, that's just my opinion on that one. Real talk. That's my opinion. I don't see that happening. He said $5, $5, $5 foot long. I wish they bring that shit back. He said I ain't friend. I've been buying. I'm essential. Even if you essential, you can be quickly become non-essential. Remember that. You can quickly become non-essential. All that shit ain't gonna save you if the power go out, or you know what I'm saying. If we gotta survive in the wilderness, that shit ain't gonna save you. Real talk. And think about it. Even if you save your money now, even if you save your money now, right? Let's say you save money now, and everything go back to normal November, December, right? And you saved up like $1,000. Hey, at least you get you that PS5. You probably get the PS5 and Xbox X, or you got an extra $1,000 laying around for Christmas time, or you know, just in case. So always prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. They are saying Huntley is good at kick return. Oh, it's over with. He good at everything. He from Toledo. 419. He good at returning, catching, kick, punt, return. He a problem. I like that dude, man. But hey, appreciate y'all. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. He's at F the PlayStation. Shit don't make me know. I play them all. I got an Xbox X. I had a PS5. I had a PS4, excuse me. I had the PS4 when it first came out. At Target, I bought this you had to pay for you had to buy this card to be able to get a PlayStation 4 when it came out. I was working at Chrysler at the time. And I bought this card from the Target employee, right? So I thought this dude was playing me or some shit. So I went the morning of when Target opened up to get my PS5, and they had a line where people didn't have a card. They had to wait to get the extras, and then they had the line for people that had the card. And I had the card. I bought it, and that was history. You know what I'm saying? I also had a PS4 Pro. I like the Xbox interface better though. You know what I'm saying? I prefer the controller as well too. My hands are bigger. So, but you know, I play them both. It don't make no. I wish they add crossplay on Madden. But when I played PS4 for real, 2K was pretty good, man. Now I can't play that shit, man. That shit garbage. I don't even know y'all play that. Have you played I don't play games like that, but I seen it Last of Us 2. I don't play games like that. If I can't shoot you or shoot a bucket or score a touchdown, and I'll play Streets of Rage, I'll play some fighting games still. Mortal Kombat, Tekken, I play that type shit. But I ain't into like story mode shit. I ain't no good at Destiny. I ain't no good at Uncharted or none of that. But hey, I appreciate y'all for checking in. And then people talk about the Xbox players needing batteries. Like, dude, you do know we have rechargeable battery packs. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it is. Appreciate y'all. Keep sharing the videos. One time for the one.